Hi, my name is Thao and I work for Microsoft on the Future of Work team. I'm going to be talking to you about some adoption strategies for how to incorporate generative AI into your culture, into your company. Some key takeaways that I'm going to leave you with today are some strategies on how to implement, some tactics that you can take within your organization, and give you some examples of how other companies are doing this. So some strategies for implementing AI at your company. It starts at the top. How your vision for generative AI accrues to your company mission, your values, your goals. Having that executive sponsorship is really important to land this for your company. Some other ideas is empowering your employees, really seeing this as a growth opportunity to learn, to grow, and to innovate. And then lastly, how do you measure that impact, and how do you reward those learning opportunities, and really embrace the failures to learn with generative AI at your company? So there are 4 phases to how we approach adopting generative AI. There's getting ready, there's onboarding and engaging, there's driving impact and how you measure that, and then also lastly, how do you extend the capabilities of generative AI to really exponentially increase the value for your organization. So I'll go through some steps with each of these phases. So with Get Ready, that's fundamentally about how you think about security and privacy at your company. We've found that companies that have a strong security foundation are able to adopt AI so much faster because they're able to get to a place where they trust the data that Copilot or other generative AI technologies have access to and feel like they can trust AI in these circumstances. So an example, our FinServe industries actually, because they have such a strong foundation of security and privacy and compliance, being a highly regulated industry, that they actually are able to adopt and deploy generative AI much faster than some other industries. Some other examples is creating AI councils, being able to have broad sponsorship across your organization in different departments and organizations, supply chain, finance, marketing, HR, being able to have constituents from across the business to come together to align on strategy, on tactics, really helps drive that cohesiveness across the organization. Being intentional with how you assign seats is actually really critical as well. So this is another component of getting ready for AI. Do you want to target specific roles and functions? Do you want to target specific business processes that have opportunities to be transformed? If you sprinkle AI across the org, it's really hard to measure, really hard to see the effects of AI. So recommending that you take a look at what parts of your business are ripe for transformation. Is it your sales org? Is it your customer service reps? Is it your finance team and how they close out each month? Looking at these specific areas, understanding the challenges that your teams have and how AI can help address them really helps you focus and allows you to then measure. We'll talk about that in a little bit, to measure the impact. And then I think lastly, building that capability to have AI be a habit. With any kind of habit, it takes intention, it takes practice, and it takes carving out time to do so. So a Work Lab article that we recently published from Microsoft talks about this tipping point of 11 by 11. So 11 minutes every day for 11 weeks. And that sounds like a lot, but actually, 11 minutes a day could be asking AI to help summarize meetings that you've attended or have not attended, or helping to draft an email, or helping to draft a starting point for a white paper. That quickly adds up and that quickly becomes a habit when you're doing it consistently across 11 weeks. So an idea of how to kind of create those habits on an individual level. I would say also, if you don't have access to Copilot or AI tools and technologies at work in your enterprise, you can also leverage copilot.microsoft.com or ChatGPT, other generative AI, more publicly accessible tools that you can use to just start playing around with it, start understanding what it can do, what it can't, what are the limitations, to start building that habit of using it as an assistant, as something that can help you start something faster, or even help you with some insights that you didn't know before. The second phase is around onboarding, engaging, and this definitely is tied back to company culture. Existing platforms to engage, but also creating new ones, creating AI user communities, learning how employees want to use the technology to redefine how they work. Also, just giving them the chance to share best practices, share learnings with each other. In one case, Dentsu is a company that has a really strong user community around Copilot. And it surfaced the need for addressing accessibility and inclusion with generative AI. There's a gentleman there who has a degenerative eye disease. So understanding how can generative AI help these people do the best work and show up in the best ways. So these user communities really help highlight a lot of common challenges and use cases, but also helps those that have other scenarios also to feel included and to feel like they can be more productive with the technology. Some other areas is enabling Copilot to champions across your organization. So this is super users. These are people who will help lead the effort across your business groups. Avanade recently published an article about 5 different types of champions. To name a few of them, one was focused on productivity and how to light up ways to be more productive. Another champion could be about DE&I, as I mentioned earlier, accessibility, making sure it's equal access for all. And others can be around like career pathfinder, being able to upskill and grow your skill set to open doors for other career opportunities. So different kinds of champions in organizations, really using people's superpowers to help kind of get that momentum going with AI in your organization. So delivering impact is, I would say, the third phase. How do you measure success, measure value now that you've deployed it and you've enabled people to use it in your organization? Using KPIs that you've established, that you're developing, is really helpful to measuring that success. At Microsoft, we have what's called Viva Insights, which is powering the Copilot dashboard as a way of measuring a lot of KPIs around productivity. Your organization can define that, based on the organization, based on the role. But having those kinds of KPIs really helps you understand how is generative AI affecting your work productivity, your business results. An AI council is also another great way to circle back to how you're progressing. I talked about forming that earlier on as you're creating the strategy for your company, but coming back and meeting regularly to assess how things are going, what other challenges are coming up, what learnings and insights can the company overall embrace. That's a really great opportunity across business functions to continue to learn, to grow, and to improve their uses of AI. And then I would say lastly there, being able to celebrate success. When employees feel empowered, they are motivated, right, to be their best self, to show up, to share their ideas. And so finding ways to light that up whether that's innovation awards, whether that's giving another company, for instance, awarded internal cryptocurrency for learning AI skills. Creating videos, much like this one, on sharing best practices and learnings on an individual level that can be shared amongst peers or even externally, is a way to push the needle on how to show up with AI. And the last phase I would like to talk about regarding AI adoption is extending and optimizing. So we've talked a bit about personal productivity and how that can impact your day-to-day. AI has the capability to also extend value to your organization at large. What fundamental business processes can be transformed. So with generative AI and with Microsoft Copilot as a platform, there's the ability to create Copilot plugins and also leverage third-party Copilot plugins like ServiceNow, Salesforce, etc. Thinking about how you can interact with all that data with natural language on a common communication platform, being able to update as well as query it for insights, but then also creating your own Copilot plugins. So creating chatbots, for HR resources, so that people can easily access the information they need just by typing in a question and pointing people to those data sources. What used to take maybe a year to create, these chatbots or these plugins for generative AI can now be done in a matter of days. So it's a really exciting time to think about what those challenges are for your company, for your business groups, and how this technology, generative AI, can really empower your employees to think about how their jobs can be different, how they can free up time for themselves, for balance, but also to do more innovative strategic work that accrues to furthering your company for the future. Hopefully that's helped. Thank you so much.